everyone and welcome back to my channel. To those of you who don't know, my name is Tilly and I'm the founder of That Oxford Girl and That University Student, which are platforms providing a student perspective of what it's like to be at university. But today I'm doing a slightly different video, giving you a bit more of an insight into my personal life. In lockdown, I had a bit of an epiphany, a bit of a realisation that I want to share with you. And that was all based around what I want to do moving forward, what my goals are, what my dreams are, and what my aims are. And I know that loads of you have had similar sorts of feelings because you've been messaging in. I think lockdown was such a weird time in that it made us sort of stop and pause and reflect on what we were doing with our lives and where we wanted our next steps to be. I don't know about you guys, but I have to have a plan. I always have. I find that if I've got a plan, if I've got next steps laid out, everything is so much less stressful. And I think this stems from when I was really seriously ill at school and when I was applying to university and was having to really navigate a really complicated application process whilst also constantly being in and out of hospital, never quite knowing what any day was going to bring. It made me very organised, but it also made me very independent and very focused. I loved to tick stuff off, and that sense of achievement was a distraction out of everything horrible that was going on in my life. And I've carried it forward. So now I find that if I don't have a plan, I find that really stressful and really challenging. And lockdown was weird, right? We were all at home, you didn't have that focus, that motivation was very different. And I remember turning around to my family and my boyfriend and saying, I don't know what I want to do next. And the question they posed, which really was a very simple one, was, well, what do you want to do? If you could do anything, what would you do? And it's a question that lots of us, would answer in a sort of, oh, I'd love to win the lottery kind of way. But I really thought about what it was that if I could sort of pick my dream career path moving forward, what that would look like. I'd explored the sort of business side of things last year with the Oxford Girl. I'd really enjoyed that. But when I really thought about it, where my passion truly lies is in writing. And to those of you who've been following my journey, you'll know that I was so excited to get a publishing deal for That Oxford Girl book, which was just a dream come true. I had a book launch at Blackwell's Oxford, which was literally the place where I used to buy my books for my course, which was just mad. And the book reached #1 in 4 categories on Amazon upon release. And now it's been sold in all of these major shops around the city, which is sort of pinch yourself stuff every time you walk in. That was a non-fiction book about student perspective of life at Oxford University. But what you may not know is before that, I had actually started writing a fictional book, which, yeah, of course, you've guessed it, partly was based in Oxford. I'd actually come up with the concept of my novel in my Year 8 English class, which just shows you shouldn't poo-poo anything that you do or create or achieve earlier in your school career, because this has now been the building block for the novel that I'm now writing. I got a really good grade in that English class. I kept the sheets of paper with the short story on, and it stayed with me. And I decided that one day I would turn this little seed of an idea into a novel. And that's what I began to do. But then the Oxford Girl stuff came about, the publishing deal for that came about. Obviously, that was an opportunity I was never going to turn down. So this novel was sort of put to the side. But in lockdown, I thought, no, it's time to get it back out. And that's what I did. And I started thinking about applying for creative writing courses. And you guys, I don't know whether you'll have heard of them, but they're called Curtis Brown. They're one of the world's leading literary agencies. And I saw that this world-leading literary agency who represented top authors such as Jojo Moyes, I've been to one of her book talks and her agent from Curtis Brown was there. I saw that they ran creative writing courses and that they're the only agency in the UK to do this. So obviously writers go on in the hope that maybe they could end up being represented by Curtis Brown, or they'll learn lots on the course about the industry and about writing that will allow them to get published elsewhere. I then started looking at the website and I saw the authors who had been on these courses in the past. And it was people like Nicholas Searle with The Good Liar, Jessie Burton with The Miniaturist, Kate Hamer with The Girl in the Red Coat, Janet Ellis with The Butcher's Hook. These were all books that I'd really enjoyed. They were bestsellers. Some of them have become TV dramatisations, some of them have become films with the likes of Helen Mirren in, and I was thinking, I'll never stand a chance. So that little niggle in the back of my mind was like, no, you're never going to get on this, what's the point in applying? But then I thought, no, the advice I always give to you guys is give it a go, you have nothing to lose. And I needed to take my own advice, so that is what I did. I submitted the first 3,000 words of my novel, a synopsis, and an application form. And then I waited. And from nowhere, a couple of weeks later, pops into my inbox a message to say that I had obtained one of 15 places on the online novel course with Curtis Brown. And I really couldn't believe it. And my kind of reaction to finding out that I'd got on made me feel that this was right. This was what I should be doing. My novel, which kind of hasn't been looked at for quite some time, suddenly has become my focus. I'm wanting to look at it all the time. I'm wanting to read it. I'm thinking about it. I'm talking about it with my family. And it was just bizarre. On Sunday night, I was there watching the Helen Mirren film, The Good Liar, written by Nicholas Searle, who was on this very course that I'm on, who wrote his novel, went on to sell the film rights. And then on the Monday, I started on the Curtis Brown course. So I've got myself some new notepads. I've got myself lots of new current fiction, because one of the big things they keep saying is to read current authors and bestsellers at the moment. So I'm going to be very busy reading. And I got going on Monday, and so far it seems like it's going to be an amazing opportunity and such a learning curve. We're getting feedback from our peers, feedback from tutors, and I want to document my journey. I know that loads of you are going to be doing courses, degrees, schoolwork this term that might be online, and it's new for all of us. This is a course that would have previously required you to go into London, meet the rest of the group, whereas now we're all on forums, we're all on online platforms. So I hope giving you an insight into how I'm dealing with that, study tips I'm picking up, can help you guys too. And I also know that loads of you are avid readers and avid writers, so hopefully it'll be a really interesting journey to follow. There will, of course, continue to be lots of content relating to university applications, personal statements, entrance exams, work submissions, interviews, student life, you name it, we have got you covered on here, so make sure you press subscribe for all of those. I'm excited to guide you on those journeys, and also for you to follow mine with my manuscript, which let's one day hope can be a novel. And I've got a plan now, so suddenly everything is a lot less stressful.